Can you tell me about your current project and the technical stack of that project?
So now currently which I am working on an application is called CAPGEMINI, which is a social networking platform. So currently we are using Angular 6, Java 8 and MySQL along with AWS and Springboot.
Okay. So what version you said? Can you repeat? Java 8, right?
Java 8, Angular 6.
Angular 8.
And
excellent.
Angular 6.
6. Okay.
Angular 6.
Okay.
Yeah. And MySQL 5 and AWS.
Okay. Fine. So you're full stack developer.
Yes.
So how much do you rate yourself in Java out of 10?
Java I rate myself as 8.
8.
8.
Okay. In Angular?
Angular I rate myself 8. Like Angular JS I rate like 9. But later I moved to Angular
2 plus version.
Yeah.
How much do you rate?
So I'll rate myself as 7 in Angular. Angular JS I will rate myself as 9.
Okay. Fine. So you have experience on Springboot anything?
Yeah, Springboot. Like past 1.5 years I'm using.
Oh, super. So how much do you rate yourself there?
Like same rate.
8 is super. Okay, man. We are basically looking out for someone who is strong in Java, Angular, Springboot, and MySQL. So I hope you fit us.
Okay.
So can you tell me about your project more, like what you do actually there? Like.
So our application is it's email and email messaging, video calling, and like chat, all the kind of like all the features in one platform. So we are making it one. So like nowadays we have all the applications like email, for email we use Gmail, for chatting we use WhatsApp. So instead of all this we are making only one application which consists of all these features in one place. So we can do payments there, and also we can make video calls, we can have conference calls, we can have only separate voice calls, or we can request for video calls. So we can also chat with the person who is like, if the person is registered in the platform, then we can directly chat with him. No need of an email.
So who are the end users of this application?
End users of?
This application or the app you're talking about, the normal people or only specific people will be having?
Normal common people, but this is launched in US.
Okay.
Now it's almost 10,000 users.
Oh.
But like it's nearby friends, colleagues that the client has passed.
Okay. So how do you provide like security to this application?
So for this application, we are using Comparator, AWS Comparator.
Okay.
So whenever we registered a user on the platform, we registered that user with the Comparator.
Okay.
So from Comparator, every login we will get the token which expires in 25 minutes.
Okay.
So every 25 minutes we'll hit the Comparator again, and we'll get we will refresh the token and we'll access.
You will hit the token in the sense after 25 minutes, every 25 minutes you will be
like we will refresh the token.
You will refresh or you will provide the user a pop-up kind of things like you want to continue the session or not like that?
No, it happens in the backend.
Okay.
When the user is like accessing the system. So if he is like idle for some time, then the system gets locked out.
Okay, super. Okay, got it. And do you have experience on microservices, right?
Yes, I have.
What are microservices? Like according to you, you can give any definition. Just explain me what do you understand by the word microservices?
So microservice in the sense like previously we have monolithic kind of application. So every time I have to make a change in my code and I have to deploy to the like production. So it will be very difficult for us like checking all the new functionality, and like we should wait until unless we get clearance from the like manager or something. So microservice gives us flexibility. Like if you have I have some modules, like I have messaging module, context module, and settings module. So I want to change in messaging module. I'll make my changes in the messaging module. I'll build that microservice. I can declare that microservice which start affecting the other two microservices. So that way we can there will be no downtime then.
Okay. So any difficulties or disadvantages of using microservices?
Disadvantage in the sense whenever we want to communicate between these two microservices, in that case we will have some disadvantages.
What will have?
Whenever we want to communicate between two microservices, from messaging to contact, from contact to messaging, so in that case we will have some disadvantages.
Like what disadvantages we will have?
Suppose something breaks on the user service, then we don't know from the messaging service, it gives an error. So we need to check in the user service then.
Okay. So do you have any idea on how transaction management works in microservices?
Transaction management.
Or how you are making, how you are handling transaction management in your application?
So transaction management, we use a repository. We use CRCAK repository to make the transaction. So every time we make a call to the controller using one form, then we'll map the repository with the entity. So that way we'll make a communication with the.
Okay, fine. So you wrote 8 in Java. So in Java, you are using 1.8 version, right? So what are the new features that are added in 1.8? Or what new features have you used in your application? You can say that as well.
So in my application we use Lambdas expression.
Okay.
And date and time we use data a lot of times. Whatever. We usually have messaging kind of system, so we use a date and time for that, when the message is arrived and when it is delivered, so these kind of things. So we use date and time for that. And so other things I know, but we did not use in the application.
Okay. What are the other things? Can you put some light?
Yeah, default and the static methods in our interfaces.
Okay.
And stream APIs.
Okay.
For each we use in our application.
For each?
For each.
Okay.
Yeah. Those we use in our application. And stream we did not use, but I know they provide some collection flexibility to sort them and go through iterate through them. We need to get first element. Default they'll go default method get first element, get last element. Those methods are provided in stream API.
Okay. So what all collection classes you have used or you have worked on?
Collection classes we use hashmap, array list, linked list.
Okay. Can you explain me how hashmap works internally?
Hashmap
or you are aware of the change that happened on hashmap in Java 8?
No, I'm not aware of it.
Okay. So can you normally tell me how hashmap works internally?
So it works it takes suppose I'm giving some key with a value. So in that case, whenever a value is passed to that, it takes it shows in 3 nodes, key with value and along with the next value. So it takes a reference of the next node as well. Whenever we pass value to it.
Why it will take the next reference node?
So whenever some manipulation happens, so that place is replaced by the next coming node.
Okay. Do you have idea on access specifiers in Java?
Yes.
What all access specifiers are there in Java? Can you explain them?
Public, private, protected, and default.
Okay. So like what is the difference between protected and private?
Protected private is to the class itself. Like if we declare some variable is private, we can't access it in the outside of the class.
Okay.
So protected, if some class is extending the given class, like protected variables class, then that class can have the access to this variables. Only protected, only the class can access to it.
Okay, so this is a scenario like a class A is there, in that a protected method is there, some method.
Okay.
So class B is extending class A.
Okay. Okay.
So class B will have the access to the protected method.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Then I have introduced one more class, class C. So class C is extending class B. So do I have still access to that protected method?
No, we don't have.
You don't have?
The child itself will have.
Only the first child will have.
Yes. Yeah, I guess child class will have access.
Which child class?
It can refer to the parent itself.
Oh no.
Like it checks in the B class, then let's see if you are calling that method from C class, it checks in the C class first, then if it does not serve, then it goes to B class. If it does not then it goes to A class. So this is the scenario.
So that is what I am asking. So in the C class, the protected method of A class is available or not?
I never tried, but I guess can be accessible.
Okay, fine. So do you know any idea about solid principles?
No, I never exposed to it.
Okay, fine. So how? Sorry.
In job description also it was not there.
Okay, fine, no problem. I'm just asking. So no. Actually, if you are having 4+ years of experience, right?
Okay. So
solid principles are the basic thing for a developer to know. So that's the reason I've asked. Okay, fine. No problem. Do you have experience on exceptional handling? Like, have you ever worked on that?
Yes, I will.
So can you tell me like what is an exception and what is an error?
Exceptions are like suppose I have written some code, and in that case, like my code is like faulty code, that it can't be executed on runtime or even at the compile time. So in that case, it throws an exception. So error is like system error. Like if there are if there is no code, those kind of things are called errors.
Can you explain me like what is exception again?
Exceptions are like so suppose I wrote some code. So my code is like not executable. Like I wrote some false code. Like it's not executable, wrong code. But while compiling or while runtime, like suppose when the execution comes there and it throws some error. So like it throws an error. That's called exception.
Okay, so how have you handled? Can you give me one real-time example in your application where you have handled an exception?
So in real-time, like mostly so many places, but like suppose we write some we generate some PDF.
Okay.
So in that case, sometimes we write we take the file from like we take the keys from properties file resource folder. From there we'll check all the details from it, and then we'll generate the PDF. So in that case, when the file is not available, it says like file not found exception. So there we use like this kind of scenario, and like there are so many cases which we like in code also. When some dynamic values are not we are not sure about the dynamic values, like it breaks and that conversion. So whenever it like we are not sure that it breaks or not. So in that case we use.
Okay. Have you heard about something like checked exceptions and unchecked exceptions?
Yes, I have.
So what is the difference between these two?
Checked exceptions are like compile time exceptions. Unchecked exceptions are like runtime exceptions.
Okay.
So compile time exceptions in the sense like when I'm writing some code and like the compiler will let us know that there may be chance of exception here, number formatting exceptions. So some those kind of things. Like sometimes we are acting a file, there also it will give us warning like this file may not be found. Those kind of things are checked exceptions. Runtime exceptions are like suppose I'm assigning values to an array which is a length of 10, but I'm still assigning after 10 also. So it shows an error.
Okay, fine. Okay. So have you do you have any idea on singleton?
Yeah, I know.
In Java? What is that?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain something about that?
Yeah, singleton is like every time when you are creating an object of a class, so it should be unique. So we'll restrict the class, we will restrict the creation of an object to only one.
How can we create our own customized singleton object or class? Like how can we write a code to create a singleton class?
We can write a private constructor of inside it, and we'll check we can write an instance method, and we can check if object reference is having any object or not. If not, we'll generate one and we'll return it.
Okay. So by this way we can have only one object instance, right?
Yes.
So what if I am two threads are acting on the same class at the same time, and if two threads see that instance is null, both the threads will create the object, right?
Yeah, in that case we can create a lock on it. We can create a synchronized. We can try to use synchronized words to it, and we can
where we should use the synchronized word?
To the get instance method.
Okay. So do you have idea about a synchronized block?
Synchronized block.
Yeah. So what is the difference between synchronized method and synchronized block?
Synchronized block. Yeah, I know synchronized teaching, but block I'm not sure.
Okay, fine, no problem. So do you know like what is the difference between a static method and a static block?
Yes.
What is the difference?
Static method is like we don't have to create an object for the class to access that method.
Okay.
Static block is like whenever we run an application like a class, before the main method, this static block will get executed, and that block will be executed.
Okay, super, fine. So coming to Spring and Springboot, like what all annotations have you worked?
Like at a Springboot application, at enable auto configuration, at REST controller, at repository, at request mapping, at protein source.
Okay, what is the difference between REST controller and controller?
So, technically both are same, but Springboot provides this feature
okay, no problem. You have experience on REST and SOAP, right?
SOAP, I used when I integrated a payment gateway.
Okay, fine.
I used
you haven't developed SOAP?
Yeah, no.
Oh, you have developed REST API, right?
Yes, REST API.
Can you tell me what are the steps we need to follow while we are developing a REST API?
So steps are what is the input, what is the format of the input required for the to give to the API. Then what is required, what is produced. Then what is the method of it, either it is post, either it is get, either it is put or something.
Okay. Can you tell me what is the difference between put and post?
Put and post is post is to update the existing they are updating the existing data there, and it is creating a new database.
Okay. If I in post, if I create the object for the first time, what will happen? Will it give an error? And vice versa in the put, I am updating the object. We can do anything.
Yes, we can save or we can update.
Okay. So I worked on Git and both. Hey, you worked on Git and SVN both?
Sorry, Git and
SVN?
Yeah, SVN, my previous organization, we used to work on SVN. Here we are using Git.
What is the difference between Git and SVN?
No, I never tried.
Fine, no problem. You have used Maven also, right?
Git is version control.
No problem, fine. You have worked with Maven also, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me what command you give to build the code?
To build the code. Normally we use to keep testers also.
Yeah. What is the command? What you will write?
npm clean install -d maven.test.skip to skip the test cases.
What command you give to skip the test cases?
npm clean install -d maven.test.skip equal to true.
Okay, fine. So what will happen once we give that command?
So what will happen? It will download all the dependencies into a jar file, and all the classes which we are using, those are converted into the byte code, and it will generate a jar for us. We can deploy we can run directly, or we can deploy into the comparator.
Okay. Do you have any idea what all steps that undergo when we give that command, or you just telling that the generic way? First it will
clean. First it will clean. Then it will build.
Okay. Do you think it will delete something?
Yeah, whatever the if I am having some disk folder, target folder. There is the files, existing files are there. Those files will be deleted, and then those files will be deleted, and then new file will be generated.
Okay. So you have worked on Angular also, right?
Yeah.
What is the difference between Angular and Angular 2+ version? Angular 1 and Angular 2?
Angular JS totally on JavaScript, while Angular is on TypeScript. And main difference is Angular JS does not support mobile development. Angular supports mobile development.
Okay. Fine. So what all what benefits we get when we go for Angular, and why should we go for Angular?
So Angular, previously we have all the libraries to develop front-end UI. So Angular provides us some framework easy to code, which already all the useful methods and all are already existing in the framework. So we can use that, and because of its lightweight, we can simply integrate in our application and we can use it.
Okay. So have you heard about anything Angular is called single page application?
Yes.
Why it is called so?
Single page applications are nothing but suppose previously we have application like HTML page. So when we want to navigate to other page, we used to load all the HTML page completely. So it takes some time to render that HTML. In using SQL, if I want to change something on the HTML, then I don't change the HTML page. I just change the content on HTML. So it is called a single page application.
Okay. Can you tell me like what are the building blocks of Angular?
Building blocks of Angular. Angular component, template, and metadata. Yes.
Only 3?
Yeah, directives.
Okay, fine. What are lifecycle methods, lifecycle hookups or lifecycle methods in Angular?
Lifecycle, ng on init, ng on the chart, ng after the unit check, ng after the unit, ng on changes. All these are lifecycle.
Okay, so why do we use in which scenario we go for ng on init method? Any idea?
So, suppose I have a page which is about to render. So I want to initialize some variable. In that case, it will go for ng on it.
So we have constructor, right, in Angular?
Yes, we have.
So,
but in constructor, we need to pass all the whatever. Suppose we have some dependencies, like some service dependencies, 4 5 services. So in constructor, we need to take all the services there. Instead of that, as best practice, we need to use ng on it to implement it to install some variables.
Okay, fine. So, what is the difference between a promise and an observable?
Promise are suppose promise are until and unless we call dot then promise can't be called. But observables are whenever we call a subscribe, these are observable will get executed.
Okay. Can you tell me what all structural directives you have used?
Structural directives. Structural directives. So it's
Something called ng first.
So ng for
Okay, fine. When do we use ng if and when do we use ng for?
ng if is until and unless the condition is true, we will not show the that piece of code in the HTML.
Okay.
So and ng for is looping through the collection.
Okay, fine. So no, fine. I got it. What is the difference between ng show and ng if?
ng show and ng if, suppose ng show is until and unless the condition is true, it can't be shown, but that piece of code is exists in the browser. It's hidden. ng if is until and unless the condition is true, it won't show, or else that piece of code does not exist in the page.
Okay, fine. So have you written any test cases for in Angular?
No, I never worked on that.
In Java?
In Java.
Okay, in Java you have written. Have you used any framework for that?
JUnit. Hello.
Yeah. Have you used any framework for that?
Yeah, we use JUnit, but we use our I used to work in national specialty.
Sorry,
so they have their own framework.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So can we mock a private method?
No, I'm not sure.
You are aware of mocking, right?
No, I'm not exposed to this. Like, we use our own framework, so we were like use those methods only, not exposed to this.
Okay, fine. So we have used can you tell me the difference between JavaScript and jQuery?
JavaScript is like JavaScript is like what is it? It helps the browser. It helps an HTML page to render something like to make an action page. But jQuery is a library which internally works with JavaScript to make the thing happen.
Okay, got it.
It's a library.
Got it. So you have worked on both waterfall and agile methodologies.
Yes, I'm aware of it. Agile, we are working.
Sorry?
Like we are using agile.
You are using agile?
Yeah.
So what all Scrum ceremonies you attend or you follow?
So like planning, then we go through discussions, then we go through implementation, we go through development, and then we go through testing, then we go through deployment.
Okay, fine. Okay, it's bit like I am done from my end. If you have any questions, you can ask.
So I don't know, but in JD that college instance are like those are not there, but like I'm really not exposed to those. That's it for my end. And yeah, no questions. But like mostly experience in Java and AngularJS. Then I moved to Angular 6. I'm working on both now.
Sorry, your voice is breaking actually.
So I was saying I don't have any questions.
Okay, fine. So nice talking to you, man. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.